Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad we could be here together today for our Vinyasa Flow. This is a special pop-up class that we're doing today. Typically, we do circuits yoga on Saturdays, but this morning we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to be doing a 60-minute Vinyasa Flow. Today, you're going to need your yoga blocks. Also, if there's any other props that you typically use in your practice, make sure that you have them nearby so that you can utilize them as needed. If even if I don't call it out, maybe it's something that you'll need for yourself, for your body today. At the end, we're going to go down. We're going to have a wonderful shavasana. So make sure you have something comfortable, cozy, so that you can feel relaxed while you're on the mat. So you're not worrying about being cold, but that you can really feel nice and comfortable in our shavasana. So today we're going to begin at the top of our mat standing. So let's go ahead and bring ourselves there. We're going to bring our feet about hip distance apart, and we're just going to take a moment or two here just to kind of center ourselves. And just rolling the humerus bones back, so drawing the shoulder blades back and down, maybe opening up through the palms. If you want to just allow your arms to rest at your sides, please feel free to just kind of assess how you're feeling right now, what feels good for your body. And just notice the feet pressing into the floor, noticing the 4 points of the front two, the front ball of the foot, the big toe and the small toe pressing down, and the heels, the 2 points on either side of the heel. Go ahead and lift your toes up just to actually really accentuate that connection of the 4 points on the soles of the feet. You can even begin to notice a little bit of weight shifting forward and back. Just go ahead and play around with that a little bit so we can really invite the sense of rooting into the feet. As your arms are extended out wide, maybe you're opening up the palms facing forward, really inviting this Tadasana mountain pose, energizing through the fingertips, extending them out long, imagining that they're getting a little longer. Opening up the palm, opening up the thumb. We're not trying to create any tension here. We're just trying to create a sense of openness. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start to drip your toes down to the floor and kind of move through them one at a time. Maybe we start to gently grasp onto the toes into the mat, really inviting this rooting down. And I want you to imagine you've got a plumb line in the center of your crown, lifting you up slightly taller. Trying to keep the spine nice and long and erect with the chest nice and open, arms are extended out, feet are rooted in. Now as you're here, maybe your eyes are closed. Check in with where your breath is at today. In our practice today, we're going to be utilizing our victorious breath, our Ujjayi breath, through our practice today. Vinyasa flows, we try to incorporate one breath, one movement. So as you're ready, let's go ahead and just practice a few Ujjayi breaths as we just begin to settle in here. So taking an inhale in through the nose, fill the belly, fill the ribs, fill the heart. And then as you exhale, create a little slight constriction of the throat, keeping the lips closed and breathing out through the nose. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you do so, you may even create this sound through the throat, like an ocean's wave or even that Darth Vader sound. Allow the sound to be possibly audible to someone who might be next to you. I mean, I know there's perhaps nobody next to you, but if you did have someone, maybe a little bit more of that deeper sound, so it's really connecting and centering our attention. And as you continue with your Ujjayi breath, let's just take a moment to set our intention for our practice today, our sankalpa. Maybe your intention is an I am statement. I am strong. I am here. I am positive. I am energized. I am enough. Whatever calls to you, Or perhaps it's a mantra, something that you repeat to yourself silently as you practice. Maybe it's a simple word, something that floats into your mind and it just grasps your attention. And I want you to imagine your intention is really present with you right now. It is in your body, in your cells. Maybe our mind is still moving, that chitti-vritti, that monkey mind. And let's observe those thoughts without judgment. Just this presence of mind that the thoughts are there. We accept them. And then we invite them to leave. We open the door to invite them to slowly shift their way out of our space. And when they come back, we let them in, and then we let them back out. Without any judgment, without any expectation, with simply this observer's mind. Now, as you're ready, on your next inhale, sweep your arms up, breathing in through the nose, still using our Ujjayi breath. Bringing the palms together, and as we press the palms together, bring the hands down to our third eye. Taking the thumbs, pressing them right onto the inside of the eye sockets. And this third eye space is our wisdom space, our space to be the observer. So take a moment here to center your thoughts right on this third eye space, this ajna space, drawing awareness to the mind. Inviting this drishti point, this one-pointed focus. Softening the shoulders. Inviting the presence of this moment. And allowing ourselves to release any tension, stress, anxiety, anything that may be in our backpack. Bringing our attention back to our wisdom self. Our inner knowing, that inner intuition, that belief in oneself, that all that we have and all that we need is within us at this very moment. And then as you're ready, begin to sweep the arms down, breathing into the belly, breathing out through the nose with that Ujjayi breath, and just allow your arms to sweep themselves up as you breathe in and down as you breathe out. Releasing the arms, breathing with one breath, one movement. Starting to make that connection between the body, the mind, and the breath. And just noticing this circle of space that we're creating around us. You can almost imagine it like being a bubble. Your inner bubble, your space. Try to be expansive. Continue to root down through the feet. Maybe feeling the lift of the quadriceps up towards the hips, energizing through the ball and the heel, really balancing through the front and the back of the foot. On your next inhale, we're going to reach up, grab hold of our left wrist, exhale, opening up through that left shoulder and lean over towards the right, inviting our side bend here. Inhale back through center, grab hold of your right wrist and exhale over to the other side. Inhale back through center, exhale, lean over, try to find a little length through the spine. Inhale through center, exhale over. Inhale, come back through center, separate the arms, exhale, sweep the arms behind you, either resting the hands on the hips or interlacing the fingers, going into our chest expansion. Inviting the opening through the front body, and let us take 5 breaths here. On your next inhale, we're going to release the hands, sweep the hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, separate the palms, extending up to a strong T, pressing our hips back, pressing into the feet, coming into our forward fold. Perhaps this being our first one, we take our yoga block, rest our hands on our yoga block. Maybe bend in through the knees, allow the low back to release by opening up the feet, letting the shoulders drift down, the crown of the head rest down to the floor. Let's take a moment here to shake our head no. And then shake our head yes. Shake our head no. And then shake our head yes. Go ahead and bring your crown back in through center with the top of the head resting down towards the floor, emptying out any thoughts that are hanging around. Go ahead and bend in through your left leg, maybe resting the hand on your yoga block, and inhale, sweep over to the right as we go into our first twist. Exhale, come back down, bend in through your right leg. Exhale, open up to the left. Inhale, back down, bend into your left. Exhale, open up to the right. And let's just flow here a few times here. And as you do, deepen that breath, maybe even slow the pace down. Slow the breath down, just noticing the rotations here. Inviting a sense of softness through the body without force, especially as we go into these rotations. We're going to keep our abdominals nice and engaged. Our chest is open and expansive. Just finding our flow here. Creating a little bit of heat, creating a little bit of opening, and connection with the breath. Let's finish off with one more on either side. And whenever you're ready, let's all meet in our forward fold here. And if you do have a yoga block, set your yoga block off to the side. Bring your feet, your hands to the floor. Let us meet in plank pose. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, the feet are long. Head is pulled up so the back of the head is lifting to the sky. Chin is slightly tucked in. Weight resting forward. Bend into the knees, keeping the elbows underneath the shoulders. Start to inhale as you bend in through your elbows and come down into our half series. With your hands resting right at your chest here, roll your shoulder blades back. Press the tops of the feet into your floor. Pubic bone down. Inhale, lift. Finding a gentle cobra here, cupping the ribs with your elbows. Exhale, come back down. Press back onto your heels. Curl your toes under. Find your downward dog. Feet are hip distance apart, maybe a little wider to create a little bit of space in the low back. As you lift your sits bones up, energize through the shoulder blades away from the ears. Press down through the heels. Bend in from one knee, extend up through the other, and alternate sides here. Pressing down through the heels, but continuing to energize through the shoulders so you have the sense of support in the upper body. Pressing into the thumb and to the pointing finger, curling the crease of the arm slightly forward. Let's finish with one more pedal on either side, continuing to invite your Ujjayi breath. Relax through the neck. And let's go ahead and drip down both of our heels, lifting up through our sits bones. Back is long. Bring the feet in towards center. Resting our weight into our left foot. Inhale, sweep your right leg up into your three-legged dog. Bending into your right knee, opening up the right hip towards the left. As you do so, keep your shoulders square, really opening up into that right hip. Inhale, come back through center, extend the leg, rest the right foot down. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Energize through the hands, bend in through the knee. Exhale, over to the right. Opening up the quad, opening up the hip. Inhale, back through center, extend the leg. Exhale, release down to the floor. Next time, rest your weight into your left foot. Inhale with the right foot up towards into your three-legged dog. Exhale, bend into the knee. Bring the knee in towards the heart. Shift your weight forward. Pull the belly in. Energize through the hands. Inhale, extend that right leg up. Find that three-legged dog one more time. Exhale, draw the right knee in towards your heart. Pull the belly, the knee in towards the heart, and then rest your right foot between your hands. Finding your low runner's lunge here. Weighing into your right foot, take your left foot forward. Meet yourself in your forward fold. As you come into your next inhale, sweep your arms towards your shins, finding your half arch. Back is long, heart is racing forward. Crown of the head is in one direction, tailbone is in the other. Pull it through the belly, pull the shoulder blades back, energize through the back of the body. As you come into your next exhale, release down into a forward fold. Bend into the knees and sweep the arms back. Exhale, sweep the arms forward, finding our chair pose, Utkatasana. Arms are resting long, ears and arms are aligned. Back is long, belly is pulled in. Take your next inhale. On your next exhale, come back to your forward fold, Uttanasana. Extend the legs maybe a little more if you've got some room. Take your right foot back, meet in your low lunge. Take your left foot back, meet in your downward dog. Inhale, we're going to shift back into our plank pose. Finding our half series, take a moment here. Set your knees down. Hug your rib cage with your elbows. Take a moment here, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, come down to the floor. Really finding a sense of control as you come down. Pull the shoulder blades back down, press the tops of the feet into the floor. Inhale, lift up into your cobra. Now, as you're here, I want you to pull the shoulder blades back down. Head is not reaching towards the sky, but rather just coming along with the rest of the spine here. Your elbows are tucking in towards center, really hugging your rib cage here. Your pubic bones down, your belly buttons up. You've got a lot of extension going on. Exhale, come back down. Press back onto your heels. Come into child's pose. Take a moment here. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward. Hands rest forward of the shoulders. Curl the toes under. Come into your downward dog. From here, rest your left foot into the floor. Find your three-legged dog. Finding that lift. Opening up into this right hip extension. Energize through the toes. Exhale this time. Bring that right foot all the way forward. Resting that left knee down to the floor. Energizing through the front foot and the back as we inhale to come into a kneeling crescent pose. Arms are extended, shoulders are drifting down. Allow yourself here just a moment to press into the front and the back foot, opening up through the left. As you're ready, release the hands back down. Curl the toes under. Lift the left knee up. Take the right foot back, meet in downward dog. Now here you can choose to go into your half series, finding your way into plank, chaturanga, and then into cobra, or you can simply rest in downward dog. Whatever you choose is the right decision for you. So maybe you're going through a couple of half series. Remember, you can always do your half series on your knees as you come into a kneeling plank, whatever feels good for you. Just building heat here, continuing to breathe into your Ujjayi breath. And whenever you're ready, take your time. We're going to all meet in downward dog. Fantastic. Bring your right foot in towards center. Inhale, we're going to take the left leg up into our three-legged dog, opening up the left hip this time. Exhale, draw that left knee in towards your heart. Set that left foot down on the floor. Pressing into the front foot, let the right foot rest down. Energizing through the front and the back leg as you sweep your arms back, sweep up into your kneeling crescent lunge, open up through the right hip, pull in through the belly. Draw the shoulder blades down here. Now just take a moment here to check in. Check in with your breathing. You may start to feel a little bit more tempo in the breath. You may start to feel some heat building in the body. Just recognize it. Be that observer. Open up to it without judgment. Release the hands back down. resting on either side of the left foot. This time, go ahead and reach that right knee off the floor. Shift your weight into your left, bring your right foot forward, meet your forward fold. Now, if your hamstrings are a little tight, again, you can come and use the block. You can bend in through the knees. You can also open up through the feet a little wider so that you have a bit of space in the low back. Next time, let's go ahead and inhale, bend in through the knees, sweep the arms back. Exhale, shift the arms forward, rest the weight into the heels. Find our Uttanasana. Now go ahead and take your feet a little closer to center. Shift your weight back into your heels. Bum sticks out. Bring the palms together. Twist your body. Belly button stays forward. And find yourself in a twisted chair. Left elbow to your right outside of the knee. Now, if this does not feel accessible, we can always rest that arm kind of on the outside and reach the opposite arm up. We can do a little higher twisted chair. Now, as you're in your twisted chair, keep the knees nice and even here. Press the palms together, open up that right shoulder. Gaze might be down to the floor. Gaze may be up to the sky, whatever feels best for your neck. On your next inhale, release the hands down. Exhale, press the feet into the floor. Sweep the arms all the way up. Palms press together, meet at heart center. Just take a moment of pause here. Check in. Is judgment flying through your mind right now? Can we come back to this with our wisdom mind, with our observer mind, with our accepting and loving mind? Can we let go of any expectation and simply be in this moment with these asanas, with our breath, moving our body in ways that feels comfortable for us, knowing that not everything will fit everybody right in this moment, but we will do what we can without judgment. Sending ourselves a sense of self-love and acceptance and a sense of presence and just being here in this moment. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up, reach the arms tall. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, come into your half arch. Let the hands rest at the shins. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. This time I want you to imagine your tailbone's growing even longer. Crown is reaching even more forward. Take the arms out to the side. Now we're using a lot more work on the back of the body as we reach our arms long, really kind of energizing through the back of the legs. See if you can shift your weight slightly forward and see how that changes that quality of sensation in the back of the legs. Is your gaze open towards the front of the room, or can you keep the gaze down, really thinking about keeping the spine aligned from tail to crown? As you're ready, we're going to bend in through the knees, sweep the arms forward, shift that weight into the glutes, extend the arms up, finding your Uttanasana. Palms are going to press together, feet come a little bit closer, twist towards the left, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Gaze may be down, gaze may be up. Taking a moment here just to recognize where we are. Maybe we're coming into a half forward fold, maybe a little bit of a higher forward fold. Maybe palms are up here, maybe elbows down, whatever feels good for our body. Remember, our bodies are not meant, the pose is not meant to, sorry, I'm going to say this probably wrong. The body is not meant to fit the pose is meant to fit the body. So we're going to make it work with what works for our body. Inhale, sweep the arms back forward. Exhale, come all the way up to standing. Rest the palms back in Samasthiti at the heart center. Beautiful. Open your feet about hip distance apart, still pressing into the feet. I'm going to just face the camera for a moment. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and we're going to come into cactus arms here. So as you open up with your elbows, really draw those elbows back, drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting through the sternum, finding a gentle back bend here, keeping the pelvis nice and neutral. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, draw the elbows wide. One more time, cactus arms. Opening up through the chest, lifting through that sternum, right at the center of the chest. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, reach the arms out to the side. Bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Open up through the heart. Now from this heart space, we're going to bend in through the knees if it feels comfortable coming into a forward fold. If not, stay where you are standing. Maybe your arms outstretched towards the front, the top of the room. Maybe they're setting down, keeping the energy in the back of the body. Knees pressed, the heels pressed down, knees are nice and bent. Soften through the jaw, soften through the back of the neck. As you're ready, release down the arms towards the floor. Pressing into the hips. Inhale, find your half arch. Exhale, release down towards the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms out and around all the way up. Exhale, pull those elbows out to the side. Find your cactus arms. Open up, maybe inviting a little bit more of an extension here. So as you're coming to this extension, press into the feet. Keep your belly drawn and open up the heart without straining through the neck. Inhale, extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, release the right foot long. Find your crescent pose. Drawing down through that right heel, pressing into the left knee is tracking with the toes. Now the back foot is not internally or externally rotated. We're reaching back with the heel, energizing through the back, maybe extending the legs long. On your next inhale, bring the palms together. Exhale, twist the torso towards the right, perhaps coming into a twisted lunge. Resting the right elbow on the left knee. Maybe we're simply going into a rotation here. Arms are outstretched, pressing into that prayer pose position, twisting towards the left. Just invite whatever feels good for your body. Inhale, come back through center, sweep the arms up towards the sky. On your next exhale, adjust the arms, find yourself in warrior two. Back foot is aligned with the front heel. Arms are outstretched, drop the shoulders, deepen into that front foot, resting the knee directly above the knee. Now from here, I want you to anchor into the floor. Imagine that your feet are coming in towards center. You really can get that engagement through the inner thighs here. Tall through the trunk. Arms are outstretched, gaze is forward between the middle and the forefinger. From here, planting those feet, rooting into the ground. Shift your weight forward, open up the palms, sweep the arms back, finding your reverse warrior. Not moving anything. Opening up through the left rib cage. Take 5 breaths here. Settle in your body here. Open up the heart. Gaze maybe down to the floor, maybe up towards the sky. Really honor what feels good for your neck. Not forgetting our Ujjayi breath. Inhale, take the left arm forward, make your way back into warrior two. Gonna go ahead and keep the arms extended, take the front foot forward. Both feet are facing the alongside of the mat, arms are outstretched. Go ahead and set your hands to your hips, open up through the heart. From here, we're gonna bend into our forward fold, finding our straddle splits. Again, here, maybe if we're taking care of our back, we're going to set a block right in the center with our back long, if that feels better for us. If we want a little more, we can go ahead and bring our hands to the floor, making our way into a forward fold, the crown of the head resting down towards the mat, softening the shoulders. Now go ahead and shift your weight slightly forward, really pressing into the front and the back of the foot. Maybe you want to invite a little opening with the arms towards the feet. If that feels comfortable, maybe you're resting the tips of your fingers down to the floor with a nice open chest with the crown of the head resting down. Now everybody's going to feel a little different in this position. Some of you may want to open up your legs a little wider. Relax the knee. Wonderful. Now from here, let's go ahead and walk our right hand over to our left foot. Noticing a little opening on the right side of the body. Walk your hands back through center and then over to the right foot. Walk your hands back through center. Now this time we're going to toe heel our feet a little closer towards center. Energize through your core, energize through your glutes. Bring your right hand to your right hip, your left hand to your left hip. And with one clear movement, lift yourself all the way up to standing. Nice and open through the chest. Take the right foot out long, bend in through that front knee. Sweep your arms out to the side, find your warrior two. Gaze is forward between the middle finger and the pointed finger. Drop the shoulders, turn that gaze into that drishti point, that one pointed focus. Bending into that front knee enough so that your knee is stacked on top of your ankle. Feel yourself rooting into the floor. Take a moment here just to observe how you're feeling, what thoughts are coming through the head. Can you revert that thought process back to your breath? Can you take that attention away from those movements of the mind and back to your breath? From here, rooting into the floor, shift your weight forward, open the palms, sweep back, reverse warrior, opening up that right arm long, expanding the rib cage here, energizing through that front foot. Take a few breaths here. Allow that back arm, the shoulder to open and let it just kind of rest wherever it wants to go. On your next inhale, take that right arm forward, find yourself back to warrior two. This time, bring the arms out to a strong T. Keep the feet forward, turn them forward so you're back onto the long part of the mat. From here, we're going to turn the feet out slightly into a slight sumo squat position, if you will, or the toes reaching to each of the corners of the mat. Palms are going to flip up towards the sun, bend into the knees, and let's find goddess pose. Now, as you're here, opening up the knees wide, tailbone comes down, open up the heart, pull it through the belly. We can feel a tremendous amount of work happening here as we press our feet into the floor. We just keep this opening. Feel the work through the legs. Fantastic. From here, bend into the elbows, finding that nice cactus pose. Inhale, dip the right elbow towards the right knee. Don't shift any weight into the opposite foot. Exhale, come back through center. Really shifting both weight, keeping the weight equally distributed through both of the feet. Remember that at any time, if you need a break, extend the legs. Take a moment of pause. Back through center, keep going. Energize through the palms. Stay your chest nice and open. Abs are engaged. Breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful. Let's do one more on either side. Fantastic. Last one. Come back through center, set the hands on your hips, extend your legs, give yourself a break. Take your left foot, reach it forward to the top of your mat. This time we're going to turn that foot and pivot all the way onto the ball of the foot. Sweep the arms up, find yourself in your crescent pose. As you exhale, release down, frame that front foot. Let's meet in plank pose. Now you can choose to rest here in child's pose. You can choose to come into downward facing dog to rest, or you can choose to go into your half series. Maybe you do a half series on your knees, bending down into the elbows, finding your opening through the chest. Maybe you're lifting up a little higher. Kind of explore what feels good. And press back, downward dog. If you're doing a half series, let's do 3 of them, and then we'll meet right back in downward dog. Keeping that connection with the breath. When you're ready, let's meet in downward dog. Taking the feet hip distance apart, let's go ahead and sweep that right leg up to our 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend into the knees, shift the weight all the way forward. Take the left foot, meet it to the right, forward fold. Maybe you have a little bit more room now to extend the legs. If you do, go ahead and do that. If you need to still bend the knees, go ahead and do that too. Just honoring what feels best for your body. Inhale, come into your half arch. Roll the shoulder blades back. Go ahead and shift those arms back one more time. Opening up maybe a little higher. Pulling back with the arms. Energizing through the fingertips. Gaze down to the floor. Really finding that opening at the back of the body. Inhale, bend the knees. Sweep the arms forward. Find your Utkatasana. Find your chair pose. Hold here for a moment. Inhale, press the feet into the floor. Extend the arms out. Exhale, sweep the arms back down. Find your forward fold. Beautiful. Take your right foot back. Adjust the back foot so it's in a warrior two stance. Toes are on the outside of the mat. Sweep the right arm up, pulling through your abs, come into warrior two. Drop the shoulders down, energize through the front and the back foot. Front knee is bent. Take a moment of pause here. Just take a few breaths here. Check in. Wonderful. From here, really energizing, rooting through the feet, shift your weight forward. Exhale, sweep back, find your reverse warrior. Take a moment to let that back arm open. See if you've got a little bit more room in the rib cage this round. Let the gaze fall up. Notice where your shoulder is. Can you pull that right shoulder back a little bit? Can you open up through the chest? Keeping the abs engaged so that when you're coming back, you're not arching through the low back. Really got this really firm stance here. Inhale, take the left arm, this time long. As you take it long, extend that front leg. Bring that back arm. Kick that right hip out. Let's find Trikonasana, finding triangle pose. Extending the arms out, opening up through the chest. Now, maybe we're taking a yoga block here. Resting the hands on the yoga block, opening up through the chest. Really feeling that inner thigh lengthening. Wonderful. Now with the front leg extended, I want you to imagine you're being pulled up through that right arm, pulling up, using that right obliques, pull back up, swivel the arms all the way back, keeping that front leg extended, finding our reverse triangle. Go ahead and bend into that front knee, come back to warrior two. Wonderful. Now from here, we're going to go into some flowing warrior twos. So inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend in through the knee. Maybe even shift that front foot a little bit more forward so you have a little bit of room to play around with here. Keep the gaze forward, energize through the arms, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Really continue to press and root into the feet. You can maybe draw some awareness to the inner thighs as you extend that front leg, bringing the inner thighs towards center. Beautiful. Let's do one more. Go ahead and rest the arms out to the side, and we're going to swivel through center over to the other side, bending into that front knee. Back foot warrior two stance. Arms are going to extend and swim out, right up to the side, dropping through the shoulder, bend into that front knee. Take a moment here, just relaxing through the neck, the jaw. They say that the pose begins when you want it to end. And that's really where we think of magic happening here. So take a moment where we can find that sense of control in our thoughts. We can let go of judgment. Be in this moment, just noticing this feeling. From here, shift your weight forward, open the palm, swim the arm all the way up and over, opening up through the right rib cage, letting that left arm drift down, bend into that front knee. Take a moment here to really invite this expansive feeling through the ribs. Keeping the chest open, so just noticing, are you rounding? Can you really, even if it means we don't go in so deeply into it, maybe we want to just try to really find that great space for us where our spine is nice and supported. From here, we're going to reach that right arm long as we extend that front leg. Arms are going to outstretch. We're not going to lock into the knee. Tilting our body forward, kicking our left hip back, finding our Trikonasana. Again, you can use the yoga block to raise the floor to meet our body. And I love a yoga block for this particular pose. It really feels better on my body. And I'm also taking really good care that I'm not jamming myself down beyond a space that feels good and supportive on my pelvic and my pelvis area, my low back. Fantastic. Now from here, I want you to imagine you're being pulled up from a plumb line with that left arm. Take the left arm on, keep the right arm long, right leg long, and find your reverse Trikonasana. Fantastic. Go ahead, bend it through the knee. Find your warrior two. Flowing warrior twos. Here we go. Breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Last one. Let's all meet with our front leg extended, and then both feet are going to face forward on the long side of the mat. Let's go ahead and toe heel the feet towards center in preparation for our balancing sequence. Now we're going to move into tree, and then from tree we're going to go into marcher's pose. So when we go into tree, we always know that there's all kinds of different beautiful versions of tree, and they're all wonderful. So we're going to go to this with a little bit of humor and a little bit of non-judgment, a lot of non-judgment. So go ahead and find whatever version of tree, just making sure our hip is open. We're rooting in through that one foot. I'm going to start with my left foot energized or rooted into the floor with my right hip open. Finding first my ankle, maybe exploring lifting the foot up a little bit, maybe exploring a little bit more. And you can take that hand and just guide that foot to the inner thigh if you want to play around with this. If you have a wall around you, feel free to go ahead and put your hands on there and get a little support, a little added support. Now we talked about drishti points being our focal point in yoga. A drishti point doesn't always have to be a physical point. It can be maybe your intention. Maybe you're taking a moment to find your intention, visualize it in front of you, and take this moment to find your drishti point, whatever it is. Maybe it's a physical thing on the wall. Maybe it's your goal that you have in that mind's eye. Just find a moment of silence here. Now from here, we're going to go right into marcher's pose. We're going to release that front foot, bring it up to 90 degrees, extend the left arm. Just hold on to this space, drop the right arm down. Lifting up, balancing, and rooting into that left foot. Maybe your foot swiveling side to side. Can you balance into the 4 points on the floor? Pulling through the abs to keep that right knee lifted. And then go ahead and set that right foot down, set that left foot, and shake it out. Good job. Well done. Good. Now from here, we're going to balance into our right foot. Go ahead and find your tree pose on the other side. Now, when you go into tree, think about your midline. You've got the midline of your body. You want to bring that energy towards center. So with tree pose, what's so nice is if we bring our foot in towards our thigh and our thigh towards our foot, we start to really invite this sense of centering, this sense of balance. So it's not a hard press towards center, but it's just a firm anchoring, if you will. Now here, I want you to experiment with different arm shapes. So don't feel like you have to do what I'm doing. I want you to play around. You can even kind of transition from one to the other. But if there's one that particularly works for you today, also make that choice. Maybe that's what's best for you right now. Maybe you play around with your eye placement. Perhaps if your eyes are facing forward, keeping your chin parallel to the floor, you maybe experiment by just lifting your gaze without changing the placement of your chin, and see how that kind of plays around with our balance here. Now from here, go ahead and drop your left arm. If your left knee is up, keep your right arm extended, bend in through that front knee, balance into your right, finding marcher pose. Balancing into that four corners of the feet, pulling in through the abs, extending out through the opposite arm. A lot of work going on into the feet here. And then go ahead and set your foot down. Nice job. Go ahead and let's just find a little rotation through the spine. Just let your arms kind of swivel out to the side. Maybe bring that foot with you. You can go ahead and just play around with coming onto the tips of the foot as you rotate from one side to the other. Well done, everyone. Fantastic. Whew. As you're ready, you can slowly make your way back in towards center. Just allow your body to find its own rhythm back towards center. Wonderful. And then when we're ready, we'll slowly slow our rotations down, and we'll come right back to the top of our mat. And we're going to make our way down to the floor. So with the feet hip distance apart, let's go ahead and swim the arms up. Take a nice steady in-breath. Exhale, lead with your heart forward into a forward fold. Inhale, find your half arch. Exhale, release down to the floor. Take your right foot back. Then your left, meet in plank pose. From here, lift your sits bones up to the sky, meet in downward dog. Take 5 breaths here. You can pedal the feet if you want to. Whatever feels good for you. And then at your own perfect pace, go ahead and set your knees down. Take the hands underneath the shoulders so that the shoulders, wrists, and elbows are all aligned. Head is going to pull back into the chin is going to lift up with the head kind of stacking on the rest of the spine. Pull in through the belly, keep the back long. Inhale, tilt the hip bones forward, arch the low back, roll those shoulders back. Now be really purposeful here, rolling them back and down, lift through your sternum, find your cow. Exhale, pull the belly in, tuck your tail under, rounding through the spine, with the last thing to come down being your neck, following the gaze between the knees. Inhale, arch the low back, roll those shoulder blades back, lift through your sternum. Exhale, tuck your tail slightly under. Pull the belly in, press the hands into the floor. Let the head drift down and away from the neck. Let the head drift down, the gaze between the knees. Now, as you're moving here, you're maybe noticing a little bit of articulation of the spine. We're also energizing through the core here, so really press the feet, knees, and hands into the floor as you come into cat, rooting through that 6-point connection with the earth and connecting with your breath here. Wonderful. Let's do one more here. And then go ahead and make our way slowly back in towards our neutral spine. Bring the big knee toes together, knees are wide, press back, child's pose. Maybe arms are extended out long if that feels comfortable for you. Maybe resting the forehead down to the floor. And as you're ready, we're going to go ahead and shift our weight forward. And let's go ahead and take our feet, shift them, and swim them all the way forward to a seated position with the legs extended out long. Coming into Tadasana, into our staff pose. Feet are slightly energized. So when I say slightly, I'm not going to force my feet really pressing in long. I'm just going to find a nice firm placement here of the heels. Toes are slightly coming up towards center so I can start to feel some activation to the back of the legs. Go ahead and swim the arms up overhead, pulling through the belly so that the belly is going to press back towards the back of the room. Keep the pelvis where it is and just let the arms float forward. So as we're here, we're just going to be mindful that our back is nice and long, our pelvis is nice and neutral, and we're going to come forward, just kind of coming as far as feels good for us. Relaxing through the knees. Relax the jaw and the neck. And then when you're ready, we'll begin to walk the hands back towards center, lift up long through the spine. Terrific. Let's go ahead and take our right foot out. I'm just going to turn towards the camera. Right foot out and our left foot in towards the right inner thigh. Now I'm going to take my foot so that it's a little bit more closer towards my hip placement. You can open up wide if that feels a little bit more comfortable for you as we come into Janu Shirshasana. So again, the foot is slightly flexed, got a little bit of energy through the heel, tall through the spine. Now we're going to go ahead and rotate towards that long leg. Left hip is really nice and open here. Swim the arms up. Exhale, come into your forward fold. Rest the hands wherever they want to land here. Now here, I want you to think about that left side of your hip and your QL. This is a wonderful stretch for your QL, which is a muscle that helps with lateral flexion, and it also connects to the bottom rib to the top of the pelvis, the iliacus. So it is a really wonderful stretch for that side of the body, especially because I know some of you have long travels coming up and have already done a lot of long traveling. So this is a great way to also stretch the side of the body. When you're here, walk back towards center, lift up still in that rotated towards the long leg, and then from here we're going to rotate back towards center. Lift the arms, take your torso, belly button faces forward. Go ahead and twist towards the left, and then set your right hand on your left knee. Left arm reaches back, lift through the spine, and gently rotate towards the left. Now, if turning your gaze beyond the left shoulder does not feel comfortable, just let it rest in its natural position. Wonderful. Slowly make your way back in towards center. Now, as you transition over to the other side, let's first come into Baddha Konasana, into our butterfly pose. Soles of the feet come together, knees are wide. Hands are going to rest at your ankles, and we're going to shift that weight over side to side, and that's really going to allow us to root into the sits bones. And that's important because we want to really make that connection so that we're not sitting back on our sits bones, but really sitting right on top. So that helps keep our pelvis neutral. Now from here, you can go into a diamond shape, a little bit more of an opening if that feels better for you. If you want to go more into a butterfly shape, you're going to draw your heels in towards center. This may not be comfortable for all of us, so just go ahead and play around with that. Now from here, maybe you're going to stay right here. This may be enough. If you want a little more, barring that it feels good on your body, you can go ahead and cup the toes, bend in through the elbows, and just gently lean in. Take a few breaths here and just allow the low back to release. Allow the shoulders to soften. Remembering that when we think about the hips, we want to come to it with a lot of caution. We're not trying to jam into this space. So we always come to this with so much love, so much attention, generosity, and space. Wonderful. Go ahead and restack your spine, lengthen through your spine. And this time we're going to take the left leg out, draw that right sole of the foot towards the inner thigh. So I'm quite active through my right foot here as I press into my inner thigh. Think of this as almost like a seated tree pose. Now go ahead and rotate your trunk towards that lengthened leg. Take the arms out stretched. From here, set your sits bones down. Come into that forward fold. And here we might start to feel that opening through the QL on the right side. Separate your teeth. Try not to clench in through the jaw. And then when you're ready, walk your hands back towards center, still remaining in that rotated space. Come back in towards your center, reach your arms up overhead, and then twist towards the right. Let the left hand rest on the right knee. Right hand reaches back, lift up through the sternum, rotate through the upper thoracic spine. Always being careful to keep the belly button facing forward. You can bring the belly button with you. Just be careful that you want to just be mindful of your back, because your lumbar area really doesn't rotate very much. So most of the rotation that we do happens through the upper thoracic spine. The lumbar area has a very, very small radius of rotation accessible to it. So we want to just be mindful of that. Terrific. Go ahead and unwind your body, come back through center, and let's go ahead and get ready for our Shavasana. But before we do, we'll bring our knees in towards our chest. So if there's anything you need for your Shavasana, a blanket, a pillow, anything that you're going to want for today, go ahead and grab it so that we can have it for us as we make our way down to the floor. Now from here, let's go ahead and bring our knees in towards our chest. And we're not going to jam the knees in towards the chest, but rather lengthen through the low back. And just kind of allow that lengthening to invite the knees in towards the heart. Relaxing through the upper shoulders, through the jaw. And let's go ahead and rock ourselves side to side. Just imagining that we're relaxing through the spine. Great. And then when you're ready, come back in towards center. And let's just do a couple of rotations with the knees. So maybe spreading that low back out, thinking about a 4-point connection. I always try to think of when I do these rotations that I'm hitting the main points on a clock. So the 6 o'clock mark, the 3 o'clock, the 12, and the 9 o'clock mark. So thinking of those 4 points in the pelvic area. The top, the side, the lower, the side. And then if you want to, reverse in the other direction. Still hitting those 4 points. Spreading the low back out, finding some relaxation in that area of the body. And then whenever you're ready, let's make our way back towards center. Set your feet down onto the floor. Open them feet wide, about as wide as your mat, and just let the knees softly drift from one side to the next. And then let's start to get ready by coming back towards center. As we come into our final pose of Shavasana, and I'm actually going to turn the music off for this so that we can invite a sense of quiet and stillness in the body without this opportunity to be distracted by the music. But rather just taking this moment to fully embrace the silence and this connection to the earth. Allow your eyes to completely soften in its sockets. Allow the back of the palms or the hands to rest down. The fingers just rest wherever they are. The ankles drift to the side. The hips are open. The chest is soft. slowly. Keeping your eyes closed and your body heading to the ground. So don't change anything in the physical presence right now of your body connecting down. But simply start to develop a deeper breath. Maybe in through the nose. And then a gentle sigh out of the mouth. Breathing in and breathing out. Whenever you're ready, bring awareness to your hands and start moving your thumb, your pointed finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. Maybe come back from your pinky, your ring finger, your middle finger, pointed finger, and your thumb. Maybe begin to open and close the palms. Hands coming towards center. And then let's bring our attention to our feet, starting to articulate through the toes one by one. Maybe you move in one direction and then you move into the other. Maybe we start to create a little bit more movement through the body by just shifting the ankles side to side, and maybe opening and closing the palms. You can do whatever feels right for you, just honoring whatever movement is calling to you. Maybe it's very subtle. Maybe it's more vigorous. It's whatever feels right for you. And then when you're ready, we're gonna go on to our right side. Cradling the crown of the head. And just roll onto this side and take a moment to observe the body, the mind, the spirit. And whenever you're ready, maybe you want to stay here a little longer. And if you do, please just stay where you are. You can also press the top hand into the floor and slowly make your way up. So just take your time, really consciously pressing the hands into the floor, lifting yourself up, and just coming back to Sukhasana. Really carefully, purposefully. Now let us come to hand with our hands in prayer pose in Anjali Mudra, which is a really wonderful connected mudra that really symbolizes that we are all one. And let's just take a moment to recall our intention that we set for ourselves, and if we forgot, that's okay. But let's just recall the intention if you can, or if you maybe shifted your intention to something different. It's bringing it back into our awareness that this is something that isn't only for the mat, but rather an intention that can be carried off the mat. And with a gentle bow of our head towards the earth in honor of our unity and the light that shines within us all. May your heart always stay warm, and may your smile always stay broad. And may the light that shines in me recognizes and honors the light that shines in you. Namaste. It is with great honor that we've practiced together today, and I'm so honored to be with you. So as always, from my heart to yours, I wish you the most glorious day and the most glorious weekend, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much. Namaste. Bye-bye.